Mail call! Yeah, what's up people, it's TTC, and I'm back with another delivery from eBay. I've done something a little bit out of character here and gone and bought a set of Marvel Legends Fantastic Four figures. I have always been vocal about the fact that I am just not a fan. Like, I really have never cared about them as characters at all, and I never really felt the need to buy any of the figures. The hype for this movie, man, I mean, it's real. It sucked me in. I haven't even seen it yet, but man, it looks good, doesn't it? I mean, I'm kind of hoping it'll do the whole MCU thing that they do best, where they sort of do a really good job of taking less exciting and more, let's face it, kind of nerdy characters and actually making them more appealing. Or I at least hope it comes out that way anyway. Otherwise I just spent money on this for no reason. But these aren't the movie figures anyway, these are actually a set of comic book ones. And I managed to find them for a pretty damn good price as well, so I'm actually quite happy about that, as it seemed like a lot of people on eBay were thinking, the movie's coming out, so let's bump all of our prices up. So yeah, I'm quite excited about this. I have no real preconceived notions at all, so let's just crack them open and see. Alright, here they all are out of the package, and as you can see, it's more of a modern look for them. One of the reasons I've never really liked the Fantastic Four is I've always felt the costumes were just the 260s, and they're not cool at all, and I have no idea what this look is actually from, to be honest with you, but I actually quite prefer it. It just makes it look more, I don't know, more modern and less goofy. Now, what I say before I do anything, I don't mind when you buy second-hand figures if, there's maybe a bit of a paint chip here and there, or there's a bit missing, because that's just part of the game really, innit? But the way that these were packaged, it wasn't awful. I mean, obviously everything made it here in one piece, but when you just kind of throw them all together just in one of these little bags like this, they sort of bang and rub against each other, and it's kind of made a bit of a mess of some things. And also, I'm going to assume that these were kept in like a warehouse or a shed or a storage unit or something, because man, these absolutely stink of damp. Hopefully, I should be able to fix that. If we have a look at Johnny here, this little blue collar thing around his neck, there's just a little like a chip there. There's a little splodge missing just above his collarbone, which I'm pretty sure wasn't there before. Reed's got this big blue smudge on his forehead where he's clearly rubbed against one of the other ones. Kind of looks like a bruise. And yeah, Sue's got the same thing, just in the front of her hair there, just a big blue smudge. Again, it might not be the end of the world, but it's definitely not great, is it? Just maybe next time when you sell something, then you pack it up, just wrap them individually. Even if not in bubble wrap, just give them their own individual bags to stop them banging against each other like this. Right, well, rant over, for now. They do look really good as a team together like this though, don't they? So let's have a look at them one by one, and we'll start with you. So having a look at Reed first, and I actually really like this. The cooler, darker colours and the beard and whatever, just, they make him look a bit more cool, right? Less like the dad with the greying hair who's going to tell you, you could be a superhero, but go and eat your vegetables and take your vitamins first. I think that's my biggest problem with him, they're too old-fashioned. I could get that they were made in the 60s, but they've kind of been stuck in the 60s. This costume design really helps with that though. I mean, you make anything black and add some sharper angles to it, like the belt here, and then the cool little sort of like tactical designs on the gloves and the boots. I mean, it just makes it all feel a bit more gritty and, helps it lean a bit further away from Reed Richards is fantastic. No, never want to hear that again. Maybe it's because I'm a 90s kid, and when comics started getting a bit more gritty. I wasn't around for all the Silver Age stuff, and it's all just too bright and colourful and cheesy for me, and this, it's just kind of sleeker and cooler. Now, it is just your classic Marvel Legends blank body with all the design bits just sort of painted on, but I do believe, at least for the most part, that this is designed specifically for Reed Richards, which works because it's got like a weird sort of like a flat with long limbs. I don't even know how to explain it. It just looks sort of rubbery, which if that was on purpose, then that's pretty good. I like all the little detail touches, like these little bits on his knuckles. I presume they're supposed to be like padding, so he can punch bad guys without hurting his hands or whatever. It just makes it feel more real, These kind of random lines on the back, they feel sort of very like the sort of DC New 52-esque, and even though they don't really do anything, I kind of like them. The foot part of the boot has been given this kind of weird, sort of angled shape. I mean, not really sure what that's about. But on the soles, they have got these kind of spiky treads that sort of remind me of like rock climbing shoes, which, if you really think about it, it actually makes sense, doesn't it? It would need a little bit of grip whilst he's stretching or even just, exploring. They may be kind of weird looking, but it's a nice little touch that I actually quite appreciate. Like I mentioned before, the proportions are actually quite specific to this, but I do think that at least the legs have actually come from an earlier Spider-Man figure, I think. But everything else looks really good for Mr. Fantastic, doesn't it? I mean, he's got those kind of long arms and the weird rounded chest. Like, it really wouldn't work with anyone else and I'd be complaining about it, but here it actually looks good. You can see in the T-pose just how long his arms actually are, and it does make sense, for him at least, but when you flatten them back down again, I think maybe the shoulders bulge out maybe just a little bit too much. It's a little bit weird looking, that. As an artist, I had to study anatomy, and I get that to most people it's not really a massive deal, but it kind of throws me off, you know? Now, the head sculpt is pretty good on this guy. I kind of like it. It's got that sort of half-raised, inquisitive eyebrow, and, you know, everything looks better when you slap a beard on it. The hair's, I don't know, kind of a bit of a weird sculpt. I don't really get what the shape is supposed to be at the front, but it has at least got the grey part sort of painted into the temples, you know? That's kind of a key thing that needs to be done, and it looks pretty good. It's just kind of a shame that this come out before they started doing the digital face printing, because it just would have made all this a lot better. But like I said, I do like the beard. It does seem to have actually been sculpted onto the face, but it's kind of like the paint just completely ignored that, and it's just done it in kind of like a whack. Just a straight line kind of squared off right across his cheeks, which it don't look good, does it? I could just accept that and leave it, but nope, I think I'm going to have to fix it. We're going to use just a teeny tiny little bit of acetone, or you could use nail varnish remover if you haven't got this. And then I've got this really tiny, super thin little sculpting tool, which is very sharp and pointy on the end, so it might work just to sort of go around the edges of the beard and remove some of that paint. Just give it sort of less of such a neat edge. Alright, let's see if I can do this on camera then. So you kind of want to just dip it in the acetone, and then I'm just gonna very slowly sort of just scrape away really small amount of paint. Just make it a bit more natural looking and less squared off. Alright, that tool was just a little bit too sharp. It was kind of scratching the plastic a bit. So I stole one of these really thin cotton buds out of my wife's makeup kit. This should do it. Yeah, that's working a lot better. And the fluffy bit on the end has kind of absorbed the acetone a bit better, so hopefully this should work now. Yep, there you go, it's definitely working. Let's get rid of this bloody blue smudge whilst we're at it. Yeah, there we go. It might be quite a subtle difference, and you know, maybe I'm just being way too anal about this, but I definitely think that looks just tons better. Before he looked kind of like a George Michael spray-on beard, and now at least it looks a bit more realistic. I'm happy with that. Now, one of the reasons I got this set so cheap is it actually was missing all the accessories. A little bit annoying, but all this guy actually came with is an extra set of hands that is really, really long. Salad fingers is all I can really call them. And they're kind of cool, you know, they kind of show off the power, but he could have probably done with some extra, like, stretched arms or something. I mean, these ones still detach from the body at the shoulder, the same way the previous figures did, so you could replace them. So I'm not really sure why they didn't go with that this time. I mean, really, it would be cool if they released, like, a deluxe figure of him completely stretched out, you know? Like, full-length body, arms, legs, everything, and really go for it. Johnny next, and I've got a couple of mixed feelings about this one, which we will get to. They're mostly to do with this body, which has maybe gotten a little bit dated. It could probably do with being retired now. There's also not a lot to say visually about this guy, you know what I mean? He's wearing the exact same costume as Reed, so whatever I could say, I kind of said before. All the blue designs against the black suit, it's all the same, which obviously makes sense as they're a matching team, no problem with that. So this uses the Sunfire body mold, which straight off the bat, I think is probably a little bit too muscular for Johnny. I don't think of him as being like really small and skinny or anything like that, but this is just a little bit too big and bulky compared to the other guys. The worst part about this though is the neck and the shoulder area, like he's just got no shoulders at all. They're so small and so low down that it just looks like they're coming out completely the wrong part of his torso. And he's got one hell of a thick neck too. I never like the musculature on these legs either. I mean, they're just very strangely sculpted. The thighs are really, really thick. Tons of striations, which I don't get it. Like if you had really fit, athletic legs, why would your thighs be so super defined like that? I mean, it just doesn't look right to me. In fact, they actually come out wider than his pecs. That's weird. He's also got the spiky treads on the bottom of his shoes. I like that bit of consistency there. In fact, I actually think it's completely the same foot. Man, from this angle though, he ain't half got some cankles going on. The good thing about this body though is you can, after you fiddle around with it a little bit, get him into a pretty damn good flying pose. That's not bad at all. These butterfly joints make me laugh. I mean, they're obviously quite a good thing to have, you know, they help with articulation, but they go so far back on this. Kind of looks like his arms have completely gone. That's probably just a little bit more range than you need right there. Oh my god, where are my arms? Another pretty decent head sculpt on this. It's definitely more of like a modern sort of like a jockey, bro-tastic kind of Johnny, more than like sort of your classic one. He's definitely got that kind of cocky look on his face, but it's the kind of cocky like he's going to turn up to your party, drink all your beer and then make out with your girlfriend. It ain't completely inaccurate, is it? Like I said, this is from before the digital face printing, so the eyes are a little bit cartoony, but I actually think it looks really good. They're very clean, and it kind of just suits the look of the whole face. His hair's also really nicely done. It's an extra piece that's been glued on top, and you know, it's the right colour. It's that kind of super bright yellow comic book blonde that nobody's hair actually is. There's a nice bit of texture sculpted into it, but they've tried to give it a bit of a wash to help that stand out, and I think they kind of chose the wrong colour. I don't know if it's meant to be kind of brown, but it sort of looks more purple. Like, it's very strange to have bright yellow blonde hair with sort of purpley roots. I mean, I don't really get what that was supposed to be. It don't look too bad on camera, maybe I'm just colourblind, but it's definitely there. And it's kind of weird. Maybe it's actually the head that's a bit too small, but you can definitely see that he's got a really, really thick neck. Accessories wise, I believe he came with two sort of translucent orange fists with some flames on the back. And then those kind of swirly, twirly effect pieces that we've had loads of times done in a flame colour too. And obviously, he got a release of a completely flamed on full Human Torch, which is definitely pretty cool looking. I don't know if I'm tempted to find that one too now. On to the Invisible Woman next. There you go, there's another gripe of mine. The names are just crap. Couldn't have come up with something slightly smarter than that? Kind of surprised that Reed isn't just called Stretching Man. Now this one's at least kind of a bit more interesting because it's at least that same design, but it's on a female body instead, so it looks slightly different. All the same beats are there, the blue designs and line work and everything, and I really like that. Like, I know it might be the same thing over and over again, but you definitely need that consistency. And these colours definitely help to make her look a little bit less timid. This body mould does have maybe just a little bit outdated articulation now. I mean, it's only got the diaphragm joint, which I don't mind. But really, with the design of that belt there, I bet you probably could have actually fit an ab crunch and have that double joint, you know? I'd say out of the three of them that Sue's probably got the cleanest 4 printed on her chest. This body mould though does have some very strange legs, like they're really, really long and really thin. Kind of out of proportion if you ask me. Maybe it's a design choice, but they could definitely do with a lot more shape and maybe a little bit more size too. And definitely a bit shorter. If you look real closely, she's also got those weird spiky treads just at the end of her shoe, but then hers actually comes into a high heel, and here's something I've never understood. Why do females have to have a high heel? Is it just so you know they're a woman? Because, you know, it makes no sense at all tactically. Like, why can't they just have a flat shoe? Imagine trying to run and fight someone in high heels, you'd break your fucking ankle. Nah, and this was from that time period where every single female figure come with this same hand. Whether it was for magic or just gesturing, whatever, but every one of them had that same bit of flashing plastic on that middle finger. We'll have a look at this head in a minute, but first let's get rid of that stupid blue smudge in her hair. So this is definitely another really good head sculpt. Sort of reminds me of like a more modern, kind of 2000s female face. Kind of like, can't think of the exact artist, but sort of like J. Scott Campbell, that kind of era. And it is really well captured. Again, you know, it's got the old sort of face paint, so the eyes are a little bit dull, and I suppose one of them kind of looks a little bit sloppy there. But not bad. The hair again is a separate piece that's been glued on. It's got a pretty nice sculpt to it. It's not completely flat and lifeless. I do like the colour. It's kind of like a bit darker than Johnny's blonde, and then the wash in it is way better. At least it's not purple this time. I will say I'm not a massive fan of the shape of it. It's got a little bit too much, how do I word it, random life to it. Like it should either be flatter than this or be moving quite a lot in the wind or something, but it's just randomly curled in the really weird places. And the head don't quite sit right on her neck. Like if you put the hair where it should be, it makes her chin stick like really, really far out. But then you move the head to a more natural position with the chin in the right place, and then it makes the hair just stick really far out the back. I mean, what are you gonna do? I do like the head enough as it is, I'm happy enough to keep it, but I do have a couple of blonde heads in my fodder that I kind of want to try. Alright, so this is from Sharon Carter, and this isn't going to work because it's a proper ugly, ugly face. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at that. But it's the hair. I kind of wanted to see what that would look like with this body. Obviously, it sits way too high on this neck, but if you turn it around and sort of hide that really ugly face, and just focusing on that hair for a second, then, you know, I don't think that looks too bad. I could see it working with a really long ponytail like this. It's just a shame that this head is ugly as hell. This one is from the Black Suit Emma Frost, and I was actually really kind of hoping that this one would work, because again, the hair looks really good like this, doesn't it? It's just a shame about the super long neck, and then I never really liked this face either. I mean, it's quite masculine and kind of ugly. But I do think that hair would have worked really well. That's kind of pissed me off a little bit, because look at it just flows really nicely. And it's got a nice colour to it, a little bit brighter than the one that's actually on the figure. Even that blue lipstick would have worked too. I guess we'll be sticking with this one for now then, which I'm okay with. It definitely does look pretty good. Her accessories, I'm pretty sure, was just a big sort of clear, transparent plastic kind of bubbly shield, which isn't bad. I know some previous figures of her had like an alternate arm, which was cast in the clear plastic, and then it was painted as it got further up to look like it was fading into turning invisible. I would have quite liked something like that. And just like Johnny, there is alternate versions of her where she's just cast in the whole clear plastic to make it look like she's invisible. I get it, it's kind of cool, but to be honest with you, I don't really have much interest in a figure that I can't even really see properly, so that one's not a huge priority for me. Oh, you know what's coming next? Back it up. This Thing figure is cool, man. This is the one that sort of tipped me when I was on the fence of, do I even want to buy these? I was like, yeah, because I kind of want to get my hands on that. He is a big, beefy guy without being way too huge. All the rocks and everything are actually sculpted all over this guy, which is a really nice change considering everything else was just blank bodies with everything painted on. It's visually like really interesting, like you could get lost just trying to follow all the cracks and all the different shapes all over him and see where they lead. That's obviously something you don't really get with a 2D flat image in a comic. It's so cool to actually see it in 3D like this. You know, you really get that kind of feeling that he's a hefty chunk of rock. And he kind of is too. He's got a nice bit of size and quite a bit of weight to him. It would probably make a pretty good weapon. I think they chose pretty much the exact right colour of orange plastic for this. I mean, it's obviously a bit bright. I know some people like things to have a bit more of a dirty wash in them, but I kind of like it like this as it is. I don't really know what kind of rock he's supposed to be made out of. It's bright orange, but it looks good though, doesn't it? Maybe a little bit of a paint wash might have helped, because all they've really done here is do like a yellow overspray just across his chest, kind of some of his arms and like the top of his head. It's not too bad. Obviously, it is quite a bright yellow, so it kind of looks a little bit harsh maybe. Like it could have been maybe a bit more soft and subtle rather than how it kind of just looks like there's some yellow splodged on him all over in these different little spots. I get it's probably supposed to like light beaming down from the top directly onto him, but then obviously there would probably be shade underneath that. It's not perfect, but at the same time I kind of like how bright it is. They captured his hands pretty much perfectly, you know, I mean he's only got the 3 fingers there. It probably won't be great to be forcefully transformed into some kind of big rock monster, but I'd be pretty pissed off if I lost one of my fingers. You had 4 when you went into space and then you come back down again with 3, I mean, that'd be so inconvenient. Well, I mean, the Thing from Fant 4 Stick did also lose his. Their feet are done the same, they've got the same amount of attention paid to them, they've got the 4 toes as well. And with that little bit of yellow spray on them, it does actually look pretty good. And they're nice and beefy, they've got a really wide flat base, which really helps with trying to keep him sturdy when he's standing up. You plant him down and he's going nowhere. The trunks are nicely done. I've always hated his little speedos. I hate when any superhero like Beast has got that. It just looks stupid. So there's more shorts, definitely quite an improvement in my mind. And the colour choice with the black, I mean, if they were just bright blue, we would have looked pretty bloody ridiculous. And there's even a few wrinkles sculpted in, so that's quite a nice touch. The belt piece is actually kind of a separate piece cast in blue, and then that 4 in the middle is pretty neatly done. But the thing I have with this is, it just looks too low down where it is, like surely it would make more sense up like this around the top of his pants. I don't know if that's right, but it looks better, right? Before, after. I mean, I can't be the only person who thinks that that's an improvement. But again, I don't even know what this is from, so I don't even know which one of these is accurate. Again, a really nice head sculpt. I've never really been a massive fan of his design with that stupid massive brow and then the big jutted out jaw. But sometimes when you lean into more of an exaggerated, dynamic kind of cartoon art style, it actually looks pretty cool. And this has captured that really well. I actually really like this. In some ways it's quite a simple shape, so you don't really expect them to have to do much work, but you've seen past Thing figures where the heads just look really stupid, so they definitely deserve some credit here because this looks pretty damn good. That is one solid looking head. You do not want to get headbutted by him. And if you tilt it back enough, you can actually see that there's some nicely painted eyes underneath that giant brow. They've got a really nice blue colour to them, and they're surprisingly neat considering they've had to be fit underneath there. He's also got one of those blue smudges on his head, but if I took some acetone to that, I'd remove all the yellow too, so guess I'm stuck with that. And in terms of accessories, he came with nothing. Now I've been waiting to get to some size comparison so that I can do this. This I think works really well. Obviously Thing should be a big, strong, bulky character, but I don't think he should be as massive as the Hulk. I mean, Hulk's whole thing is that he's the biggest, the strongest, blah 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 blah, so it definitely makes sense for them to have this bit of size difference between the two. I actually think these look really cool together. And I totally knocked over my whole collection getting this Hulk from right at the back, so I get to go clean all that up now, yay. And for a female comparison is the Daredevil version of Elektra. They are mostly around the same size and height, but I brought her out to show that it just looks so much better when the details are sculpted on rather than just painted. And with Johnny, we've got that retro carded Quicksilver that came out a few years ago. I always defend Marvel Legends when people say they just reuse the bodies and repaint them, because I had over 100 and none of them, even though they might have shared some parts, none of them with the same body. But that's gone right out the window now, because these two are exactly the same. And then here's the version of Doom that I've got in my collection. I can't remember what he's supposed to be, like God Doom or something like that. I'll be honest, I only bought it because I kind of prefer the whole like metal armoured chest over his stupid green tunic thing. He's another one I'm kind of hoping the movies will show me what's supposed to be so cool about him. And then I've just grabbed the Bruce Banner here just because I kind of want to see what would happen if we swap heads on these two. Yep, there you go, it works. He's not really got much of a neck, but it definitely fits. I don't know what. I don't really like it for some reason. And then because we can't just do loads of Marvel Legends, I don't know, here's Two-Face or something. So, in general, I am definitely happy that I picked these up. Yes, I was on the fence, and I'm still not 100% sure on the actual characters. We'll wait and see whether this movie actually turns out to be any good. I'm kind of hoping it is. But the figures themselves are actually good enough for me to just enjoy them as they are. I'm actually really happy with them. Yeah, sculpt-wise, maybe they're a little bit old and outdated, but I don't really care about that. I've got really old Marvel Legends in my collection from like 2008 or something. As long as they look good, I don't really care. It's just a shame that they're missing their accessories, and that I had to kind of clean them up myself, and the fact that they absolutely stink. I'm going to go clean them up in some really hot soapy water straight after this, but if anybody knows any way of getting rid of horrible smells on your figures, then drop me a comment, because it's pretty bad. So don't forget to like this video, drop us a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Plenty more stuff coming soon, and there's actually a ton of stuff on here already now. I've built up quite a nice little back catalogue. Go and check some of them out, there's all kinds of stuff. I have no focus whatsoever. Maybe one day. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.